does smell really nice. Oh yeah. That, my friends, is yummy. I have to say, the rice is beautiful and soft and fluffy, and the chicken is cooked perfectly as well. So hi everyone, and welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis, and in today's video I want to share with you how to make my delicious almond satay chicken with green rice. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my delicious almond satay chicken with green rice. So this recipe is really easy to do, and it's a great one for a Saturday afternoon. We are having lunch today, so I thought I'd make this for our lunch this afternoon. My husband, son and I love this dish. My son, who can be quite a fussy eater at times, really enjoyed this meal as well. So I thought I'd make it again today as it's one of his favourites now. So I have laid out all of my ingredients, and in this bowl here I have about 500 grams of chicken breast that I've simply just cut into 1-inch pieces. I won't touch it because it's chicken obviously, but just trust me, it's in like 1-inch pieces. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some honey. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of honey to the base of this. Honey always takes such a long time to come with a spoon of this bowl, this little mixing bowl that I have here. So I'm just going to leave that to run off, and I'm going to add to that some tamari. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of tamari as well. So just add that in like so. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of almond butter as well. I'm going to use the same spoon because I think that'll be fine. It's only me that really eats almond butter unless it's in a dish like this one, so that's fine. And then I was meant to use ginger, ground ginger, but unfortunately I've just discovered that I haven't got any. So I'm actually going to be using garlic granules in this dish. So I'm going to use about a teaspoon of garlic granules. I've never tried it with garlic granules before, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it tastes. Hopefully it will be delicious, but we shall see. So I'm just going to mix those ingredients round until everything is well mixed together. The almond butter is a bit solid, I have to say. It's the bottom of the jar, so it's always a bit solid at the bottom of the jar. So I'm just going to try and mix it as well as I can in this little mixing bowl. That's it, it's breaking up now. So what you want it to do is just break up, so you can spread it as evenly as you can across the chicken. So I'm just going to add the little bit of sauce that I have to the chicken, like so. And then I'm going to mix all of these ingredients together, just with the spoon. And I'm going to try and coat every single piece of the chicken in the almond butter and the honey and the tamari as evenly as I can. Before I forget, I will add salt and pepper to this as well. So salt and pepper to your taste. You can add it if you want to. If you don't like it, then don't have to. We only like a little bit in this house. We don't like too much. And then a little bit of pepper as well. And then I'm just going to continue to try and spread this almond butter over the chicken as evenly as I can. So I've done from my hands, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to skewer the chicken. So I'm going to put the pieces of chicken that I have just smothered in the sauce that I made onto the skewers like so. And I'm going to try and fill these up as best I can. So I'm going to try and fill them as evenly as possible. It doesn't really matter too much if you get a big chunky piece of almond butter in between, because that will actually make it taste delicious, I'm sure. So I'm just going to continue to put the pieces of chicken onto the skewers. So I've finished skewering the chicken, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these into the fridge for a couple of hours. The great thing about this dish is you could make this the night before and then just store it in the fridge overnight, or you could make this in the morning and then just store these in the fridge all day. These are going to be going on sort of a hot plate, so that's why I want to store them in the fridge, because when they hit the heat, hopefully what will happen is they will become lovely and juicy and tender. So yes, as I said, I'm going to put these into the fridge for a couple of hours now. It's almost dinner time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat my oven to 200 degrees. While the oven is preheating, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cooking my rice. I'm using brown rice, so it does take slightly longer to cook. What I've done, as I always do, and I will link the video for cooking brown rice in the description box below, is I've washed the rice through until the water becomes clear, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that into the base of my saucepan like so, and then I have some bone broth here. So in the original recipe I said to use 600 ml of bone broth to cover it and make it 2 centimetres from the top of the rice. So you have to have about 2 centimetres worth of liquid from the top of the rice. But I'm only using enough rice for 2 people and a little one today. So I think I've got about 150 grams. Ted doesn't really like rice that much, so I never do him that much. So I've sort of halved the ingredients, so I might only need 300 ml of bone broth, but I will see. So I'm just going to pour the bone broth over. No, I think I'm still going to need about 600 ml. I think that was probably about 400 to be honest. And now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to add a couple of tablespoons of tamari to that as well, because that will just give the rice extra flavour. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this onto a high heat on my hob, and I'm going to let this come to the boil, and then once it starts to boil I will turn it down and leave it to simmer until all of the liquid has disappeared. As you can see, the rice has started boiling, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat down to a medium heat, and as I said, I'm going to leave the rice to simmer in this pan until all of the liquid has disappeared. So I've put the chicken onto a hot baking tray. This baking tray I put into the oven when I preheated it. So if you want to do that while you're making this recipe, then please do. It does help to cook the chicken. I find it makes it much more juicy and tender if you've preheated the baking tray. And I've used a baking tray with quite high sides so that the chicken can just hang in the tray. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until the chicken goes a lovely golden brown colour and the juices run clear, because that's when you'll know it's cooked. If I can get this in correctly. There we go, that's it, it's in. So as I said, I'm going to cook it until it goes golden brown and the juices run clear. So probably for about 25 to 30 minutes. The rice has cooked, so I've turned off the heat, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the greens for this dish. So I'm going to add in some spinach that I've chopped and some coriander. I've used about half the ingredients for the rice because, if you remember, I'm actually only cooking this for Ted, Harold and myself. So I've sort of halved the ingredients and then added a little one. So I'm just going to mix those round until they wilt down, and I'm just waiting for the rice to cook, the chicken to cook. But the rice is definitely done, so I'm just going to set this aside. I'm going to leave the lid on to keep it warm, and as I said, I'm just going to set this aside and wait for the chicken to cook. The chicken has gone a lovely golden brown colour and the juices have run clear as well. It has been in the oven for about 25 minutes, so I'm going to take it out now and I'm going to serve it up, and that with the rice, and that will be our dinner. But I will try it to let you know how it tastes as well. So I just thought I'd try this to let you know how it tastes. It smells really good, I have to say. So I'm going to have a piece of the chicken, just a little bit of the chicken, and some of the rice as well. It does smell really nice. Oh yeah. That, my friends, is yummy. I have to say, the rice is beautiful and soft and fluffy, and the chicken is cooked perfectly as well. So I'm looking forward to that for my dinner my lunch today even. That's how you make my delicious almond satay chicken with green rice, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having this for our lunch today, and it smells and tasted so good, I can't wait. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye!